Dear Dr. Wu, this is Fan Jing, and here's my project presentation. And the title of my project is Impulse Noise Judgment-Based Median Filter. Here, let's see. It's a presentation outline, and it's mainly 4 parts. And first is the problem on the study, and then the existing approach. And the third is the performance evaluation of the existing approach, and the final is the conclusion. First, let's see the problem, and here I want to say something about the traditional median filter. And as you have mentioned in the class, the median filter impressed me a lot, and actually it's effective. It's quite effective because the mechanism is quite simple, and however it's not perfect. And first is its mechanism, and as you can see, all the central points in the sliding window are treated in the same way, and the flat regions point and the edged points are also treated like the noise points, and thus the output will blur. And besides, the performance is rely on the size of sliding window, and if it's too small, and some noise may not be moved effectively, and if it's too large, and the output will blur. And thus, based on the disadvantage of the traditional median filter, and there are some questions. And why don't we detect the noise point before removing it? And why we need to change the value of the non-noise points? It doesn't make sense because they are not the target. And based on the 2 questions, here's the approach. And it's called the impulse noise judgment-based median filter, and its mechanism is simple. It is before replacing the central point with median value, just detecting it, and after the several steps of the detection, only the detected noise points will be replaced by the median value, and all the other points will just keep their original value. Okay, and here is my design, and my design is just mainly 3 steps. And the first step, and you can also consider as 3 sub detectors. And the first and step 1 is to detect the grid value, and whether it's within the range of this, and this range, and is mainly the noise points will be located. Actually, the noise points are always some extreme value points, and alpha is a parameter. And step 2 is to calculate the gradients of the whole sliding window to the central points, and then count to the number that large than the thresholds. And its basics. This step is based on these 3 conditions. First, if it's the central point is a flat region pixel, and then the grid value quite similar to the surrounding pixels, and the number will be quite small. And if it's the edged pixel, then it might be half of the surrounding pixels will have the similar grid value, and the number might be half of the window size. And if it's a noise pixel, then the number will be quite large because it's it might be quite different with other pixels in the sliding windows. And here's the last step. And before introducing the step 3, I want to say something why I need the step 3. And actually, at first I just designed the first 2 steps, but it doesn't work well. And from the output images, I can still see that the blur, and that means that, which means that still some edge points are treated as noise points. And then I think why, and then I realized that these 2 steps are, the first is rely on your absolute value of the center points, and the step 2 is just rely on the relative value of the center points. And if you always rely on the value, rely on the value of the center point, of course there will be exceptions. And thus, actually, the sliding window contains more information than just the value. Besides the value, it contains the pattern or the locations. That's the principle of the step 3. It's directional detection, and within the 5 sliding window, and you can have 8 directions windows, and all the windows are crossovers across over the central point, and within each direction window, and you just calculate the gradients, and you get their absolute value, and you can get 8 absolute values, and then you judge the minimum value. And if the central point is flat region point, the grid value of every window are quite close. Thus, the minimum value will be small. And if the central point is the edge point, then at least one direction window, the grid values are close because it's just the edge. That's also the important reason, and because the edge point, for the edge points, you always have some edge, and if the sliding window is small, and thus with one window the grid value are close, and thus the minimum value is also small. However, and if the central point is a noise point, then all the grid values are quite large. Thus, the minimum value is also large. Based on these 3 steps, and I can make a decision, and only those points that satisfy all these 3 steps will be treated as noise points, as I have mentioned. And here I listed why I choose these steps. Besides, I have mentioned, and using three steps, you can make full use of the information maintained in a sliding window. And more steps, if you use more steps, and the last exception property will occur. Here is the output images of my method, and this might not be seen clearly, so I amplify them. You can see that the edge and the details is preserved very well. And here too, as I amplify the upper left corner, which contains a lot of shadows and a lot of edges, so it can see something. And first it is original image, and the second I have used some traditional medium filter, and the last one is the output of my method. As you can see, when you're using the traditional filter, it has been blurred, and mine it preserved well. Oh, and I also want to share something about what was troubles I have get the troubles in my project. And first is a sliding window size, and actually it can directly affect the performance. And as I mentioned, the second sub-detector is to detect the number of the over threshold gradients in the whole sliding windows. Then if the sliding window size is small, and then the statistic base is small, and easily the exception occurs. And if it's too big, the iteration times will be large. And for the third sub-detector, if the window size is too large, there will be more than 8 directional windows, and the iteration delay will increase. Besides, there are also some valves you should choose the valve values. It really takes me several times, very long time and effort to get the optimized value. And actually they are experience based. And if the threshold the valves are too low, and then the filter is not efficient because several edge points or the flat region points will be included, and the edge will be damaged. And if the threshold or the valve is too high, then then even some noise points will not be detected. So here's my conclusion, and it can preserve details better when removing noise and compared to the traditional medium filter, but it's not perfect. So one disadvantage is that the processing time is long, and it may take more than 5 seconds. Then the output will be shown. And if I use traditional medium filter, it just take maybe less than 2 seconds. Because it takes a long time because the mechanism is complex and the iteration times is large. Okay, that's it. Then finally, I hope to run my MATLAB code. Open. Here is the main. It's my main M file, and okay, just run it. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It takes 8 seconds, and you can see the output. You can see, and the details can be resolved well, and you can amplify them. Oh, sorry. You can see still well. Okay, that's my presentation report. The presentation. Thank you.